This episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast is brought to you by Times Cineplex. Hey guys, it's Kev.
What's up? This is Naz.
I am Tibby.
This is Del.
And you all know who this is.
And we are
The Wayang Crew.
Oh yeah.
Hey, welcome back everyone to yet another episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's me, Kevin, your host as usual on this weekly show where we talk about all things movies, especially movies that are playing here in Brunei Darussalam. Up next, it's my first co-host, it's Del.
Yo.
What's up?
I just got back from KL.
Nice.
Yeah.
What were
lack
you
of
doing
sleep. Not sleeping.
That sounds like a very expensive trip.
Just to fly there, not to sleep.
Yeah, it's like, where are you going to KL? I'm done sleeping. I'm done for the week. So I'm just going to go to KL and not sleep.
Yeah.
Rather than not sleep here, I'll not sleep there.
Yeah. Why? Because there's
there's more
better
things
skyline to look at.
And that makes it more special, I guess. All right.
Guess so.
Up next, it's the co-host of the Wayang Crew Podcast. It's Khai.
Y'all know who this is.
There it is.
I'm back.
It's back. It's back, baby.
That was I guess you could say that was the Fallout. Hey.
Nice tie in there because today we are talking about Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the sixth movie in the Mission Impossible franchise.
Possibly last.
Really?
No.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was Christopher McQuarrie or Simon Pegg. One of them said they can't imagine the story going anywhere else.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the show. But let's get to the first bit of the show, which is the news, as usual. And the big news today, it's just been confirmed that the Disney and Fox merger is about to happen, with the shareholders of both companies approving the deal.
I called it.
Yes.
I did. And I don't know how or why a lot of people were reacting the way they were on Twitter. I don't know if you guys are on Twitter. But a lot of people were like, oh no, I can't believe it's happening. It's like, what did you think was going to happen?
This is a long time coming.
Yeah, did you think they would make the announcement and go, we have decided to part ways as partners? You know, did you think this was like a breakup? Like, no, this was going to happen. Disney set their sights on Fox and they knew they wanted it.
It was almost derailed by Comcast, who stepped in at the last minute.
And I think anybody who doubted this would happen should know that the moment Disney upped the offer, that was serious.
Yeah. I would like to think that the people who had doubts on their mind were not doubting the deal, but they were just in disbelief of the numbers.
Probably. Yeah.
Because we've talked about this on the podcast. It's a total of $85 billion.
Which is a lot of money.
Really? That you classify that a lot? That's a humongous, megasonic amount of money.
Yeah.
It's the kind of money that I will never see in this lifetime.
You can see, but I don't think you can touch.
Yeah, so this is obviously ringing good things for Disney and the future of the MCU because, they're getting back all the characters and this and that. Although there are some antitrust issues that they have to
filter through.
They have to filter through. So this is going to take a while. This is expected to conclude at the middle of 2019 for them to transfer all the assets and for them to jump over all the antitrust hurdles. But yeah, it's happened. So right now on this podcast, I'm saying it's happened.
For all intents and purposes, Fantastic Four and X-Men and other characters that were not under Marvel are back home.
Yes.
So beginning of 2020,
we'll start
see
seeing
announcements.
Yeah, we'll start seeing announcements. Which, honestly, it's like one of those things that just falls into place, right? Because Kevin Feige has said they have plans for the next 10 years.
Yep.
Now they have plans for 20.
Yeah.
Do you really see Feige as like a 60-year-old still? Well, okay, fine. You have Stan Lee, who's like 90.
But I think Feige would step away from producing and just be like a chairman or something.
That's like the godfather of the of the
Who-
MCU.
He's not training anyone to take his place yet, though.
No, it's way too valuable of a spot to train someone.
This is his baby. This is his multi-billion-dollar
No,
baby.
but then if you set the sights for 20 years, you gotta have some things in place now.
I think he would have a brain trust in place.
For sure.
At the top of my head, the Russos would be
Oh, you mean not James Gunn?
Oh, well, we'll talk a bit more about James Gunn later on. After this bit of news, which is also related to Disney, it's about the Star Wars franchise and also a big announcement that happened today on the casting for Episode 9. Disney has announced the cast, which includes, funnily enough, Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher. They've announced that they will be using footage that they shot for Episodes 7 and 8.
Seven.
Seven, yeah, mainly 7.
Yes.
J.J. Abrams did make an announcement that he had spoken to the daughter of Carrie Fisher to treat it with respect and whatnot. This is good news because this is, big service to the fanboys. And I'm looking at Khai as I say this after episode 8, which was, in his mind, a huge disappointment.
To say the least.
Star Wars will always be very sentimental for me. So when I read the announcement, I actually teared up this morning. Because, one, we are looking at the end of a journey that started in 1977.
I'm sorry, just want to point out that you said you teared up.
Yeah.
Because you never say something like that.
Oh, no, that's why. So Star Wars is super important to me. Okay.
Yeah. So
wait,
just to
so
make it clear.
this morning when I saw you, that wasn't you with just woken up eyes.
That was me post-tears
That
eyes.
was post-tears.
Yeah,
Nice.
Because this is the end of the Skywalker saga. And it's a very heavy feeling to know that this franchise, the actors have gone through so much, and we're about to approach the end. And I've always had a special place in my heart for J.J. Abrams. I can never blame him for anything that happens with the stories he's not involved in.
Yeah.
I personally thought The Force Awakens was amazing. So to read him say something along the lines of saying he couldn't imagine ending the Skywalker saga without Leia is so touching, because he truly at his heart is a fan.
Now we've confirmed that he gets it. Like he really gets it.
He does.
Yeah.
And so Mark Hamill it's not new news that Mark Hamill was very disappointed with what had happened in his role in this new trilogy, and he has very publicly said that he doesn't see himself coming back.
Yeah.
But to see his name there saying Mark Hamill is coming back as Luke Skywalker, so it just in my head it's like, how good was the pitch from J.J. Abrams, or what was the conversation between Abrams and Hamill for Hamill to say, okay, I'll be back?
To be fair, we don't know if that conversation ever took place, because I don't think Mark Hamill has a choice in the matter.
I really think he does.
Really?
Because if Harrison Ford can opt out, and Kathy Kennedy has gone on record saying 9 would be a Leia story.
No, but then Harrison Ford's contract probably was only for one movie.
It really was, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Mark Hamill's the kind of guy who would just be like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then he goes, I was kidding. And he's been very vocal. He's been very vocal about it. So I'm guessing there has to be some sort of a compromise.
Okay, my question now is why specifically they mentioned the footage from episode 7 and only, and not 8 as well?
I think because J.J. Abrams did 7, so he would know what he shot.
Like he knows what's
shot, available.
He knows what he can
But
use.
wouldn't you also want to dip into 8 and see what else is there?
I would not be surprised if there's a symmetry between 7 and 9, because the same director's working on it. There would be dialogue, settings.
As in just for the footage of Leia. Because obviously there is a lot of footage left from 8 that may not have been used by... Yeah, so they would have been... They could just go back there and...
I'm sure they'll look into the bin. And,
I'm sure they
But
would,
it's just that they specifically said 7.
Yeah. J.J. Abrams specifically said footage from episode 7 that was not used.
He didn't say any footage that was not used before.
Which actually could be a clue as to the story, but we'll talk about this, in other episodes of the show. Maybe it's a flashback. Maybe it's, harkening back to the events of episode 7.
Is it flashback, do you think? But then they have to end it properly with Leia's story. So I'm guessing it's gonna be taking place like right after episode 8. Not as speculated that they will jump forward like 10 years.
Yeah,
into
which
the
is
future.
also really touching, right? Because he could have done the easy task of jumping forward 20 years in the future.
Yeah. And just disregarding certain things that have happened.
But no, he's choosing to go back
and address
do the more difficult job
Yep.
of salvaging footage.
Yeah.
And making this movie.
Yep.
So he has my utmost respect.
So this announcement comes because they will start shooting episode 9
on the 1st
on
of
the
August.
1st of August, which is in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I would think that the story is now locked.
It is.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
guessing
locked.
it is.
Scripts are out and production is about to start.
And also, Billy D. Williams is back.
Billy D. Williams is back
As
as
Lando
Lando.
Calrissian.
I would like to see a shot on the official Star Wars Instagram page of Billy D. Williams and
Mark Hamill.
Donald
Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
Back to back, like old and new. Maybe also Alden Ehrenreich and Harrison Ford.
I don't think Harrison Ford will do it.
Yeah.
All right, we talked about this a little bit. We touched on it. Well, Del brought it up. James Gunn and his recent firing from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 because of some tweets that came out again after 10 years of him putting it out there. There has been a petition that was launched by fans for Disney/Marvel to rehire him, and that petition as of now has reached 327,125 signatures.
That's quite a number.
It's
Yeah.
quite a number, over 127. There you go. It's constantly ticking up. They need to reach 500,000. Do you think Disney would
What do you
budge?
mean they need to reach 500,000?
Apparently that's their goal for this petition on change.org.
Right, but it doesn't mean that's the goal that Disney Disney gave them.
It's not gonna change.
Give us 500,000 and maybe we'll
These
do it.
fan petitions don't work.
Don't. Yeah, this is. I don't see Disney budging. Plus, I mean, I would sign the petition, but not for Guardians 3. I would see James Gunn doing something else.
Something else.
Yeah.
Something else.
Not to-
Something a bit more, after Avengers 4, maybe. Like
Yeah.
Something cosmic.
Yeah.
The Nova Corps film.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Fantastic Four.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now it's possible.
More news circling the James Gunn firing by Disney. Bobcat Goldthwait. You remember him?
From Police Academy.
No. Oh, that guy.
That guy.
Oh. What's his name?
Bobcat Goldthwait.
No. The character's name.
I don't know.
I can't remember his name.
I can't remember.
Zed?
Zed, yeah.
that's
Zed.
He was the
Zed.
rambling
Yeah,
that guy. He is still a comedian, and he has protested Disney's firing of James Gunn, and he has told Disney to remove his voice from its theme park rides.
Yeah, I find this hilarious.
Yeah,
In a funny way, not in a bad way.
because he the last thing he did for Disney was he
Hercules,
was
the
the
cartoon.
voice of one of the little creatures,
Gremlins. One of the two
Gremlins, like the devil, the
Oh,
devil
right.
thing. That was his voice, and he's asked Disney to remove. They're not gonna. Come on, they're not gonna budge on this. They're not gonna.
I'm actually surprised that Disney fired James Gunn because of that.
I'm not.
Really?
It's a sensitive time in Hollywood right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sensitive time. It's the whole hashtag Me Too movement thing.
Okay.
And
Sarah Silverman got in trouble a couple of days ago.
That's why. I mean, because her movie's coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal out there.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're still with James Gunn, and we hope the best for him.
Well, yeah, we wish him the best.
the best,
and
and-
at the same time, no one's gonna. I mean, it's understood. Disney was the employer, and they said, "Look, we can't turn a blind eye."
Yeah. This
You
was
know,
this was essentially a HR/PR thing that they had to address.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's just a shame.
Okay. We talked about the Disney-Fox merger, and one of the properties that will be going back to Disney is the X-Men, and in particular, the character of Wolverine. Here's a bit of news, that just kind of came out because it was published in the UK. Logan apparently received more complaints than any other film in the UK last year.
Because of
For
the violence.
what?
Because of violence.
Because of the
Yeah,
violence.
they got complaints.
What is? It's rated R.
Exactly.
Not in Britain.
No?
Britain's different. Britain it was rated 15 or 16.
15, yeah.
15.
15 classification
Yeah.
was given
Okay.
for Logan in the UK.
Whose fault was that?
That's the British Board of Film Classification.
Right.
That's right, yeah. So yeah, it received 15 official complaints saying that the classification of 15 was not
Right.
enough. Is this gonna happen? I mean, what is this? Is this just...
It's people just complaining for the sake of complaining. It's people being given authority to go like, yeah, you know what, I want to complain.
because I can.
Yeah.
First world problem.
Here's the thing: when the first person complained, I'm sure I'm sure people knew about it. Why did those other 14 people continue to watch the film? There's this 14 other people going, all right, I'm gonna watch the film. Oh, did not like it.
Did they not, watch the trailer?
I don't know what they were thinking.
No, trailer does not reflect how brutal it is.
I felt like
Really?
No, you're right. Now, as I was
Yeah.
gonna say, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on to DC and Warner Brothers. Now, we talked about the possibility of Robert De Niro and how he was kind of circling the Joker project, the Joker origin film.
Yeah.
The one that's going to be... that.
From-
The Walking Phoenix. one.
The Joaquin Phoenix one. Wow, I'm getting a bit tongue-tied here. Robert De Niro is apparently officially in talks for this movie, and the character sort of emerged with rumors, and the rumors are that he
Grissom.
is going to play a talk show host.
No,
Yeah.
it would be the perfect Grissom. Why won't they just give him Grissom?
Oh, I don't know. Actually, I'm not very familiar with the DC universe, but apparently, yeah, De Niro would portray a talk show host who plays a key role in the Joker's origin.
Who turns into
that's
Grissom.
a lie. That's
Really?
basically Grissom.
So,
That's just code names.
We don't even know. Wait, do you know that this character is gonna appear
What?
in the movie, Grissom?
He's the mob boss who hired people to recruit
Right.
Jack Napier before he became the Joker. Yeah, so yeah, Boss Grissom plays a huge role in the underworld.
We don't know if this is gonna be in the same story.
It's the Joker story, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same story.
Wow.
all right, more DC news. We do know that Wonder Woman 1984 is currently in production, and they're filming. There is an Omaze campaign where you will stand a chance to be an extra in the movie.
Del, what are you waiting for?
I'm not that interested.
Really?
Yeah. Plus, I'm always broke.
Well, you wouldn't have to do anything.
I have to support Omaze.
Yeah, like $10. What's $10?
That's
$10
that's like
is
one
like-
chance. Yeah, one easy cut. Sorry.
Yeah, that's 2 meals for me. Thank you very much.
Ooh.
Yeah, how are you paying $10 for 2 meals when your restaurants charge more than that?
Burn.
Got me
kidding.
there.
Yeah,
I'm
but
kidding, I'm
this is
kidding.
kind of interesting.
No.
Omaze, of course, they're not new to this game. They've done it for
They started with The Force Awakens.
episode 7,
Yeah.
and then there was a thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger at one point
Yeah.
where you got to spend a day with him if you won the contest.
Arnold.
Yeah, and ride his tank with him. And,
Yeah, they also did it for Batman, Superman. I don't know. Can I say something about Omaze?
yeah.
I donated a decent amount of money last year for The Last Jedi. I don't expect to go to anything like the red carpet or whatever, but I'm still waiting for my postcards.
Oh.
Yeah.
I supported the Omaze for Force Awakens. I got what they promised.
The Force for Change thing,
The
right?
Force
Yeah, I did the Force for change as well, but just feel like it would be nice if I got my postcards.
Last Jedi keeps letting you down.
Man.
Anything attached with that name
Yeah.
It's
just lets you down.
Yeah.
It's a conspiracy out there. They're not giving it to you.
No.
Right. Here's someone else who is in the DCEU, Henry Cavill, who plays Superman.
Yep.
All right. Is it Cavill or Cavill?
Cavill.
He said Cavill, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cavill.
Like Anvil.
Yeah,
Cavill.
Henry Cavill, who plays Superman, of course, in the DCEU, he says he's ready to play James Bond.
I see it.
Do you?
Yeah.
I do.
After Mission Impossible?
Yeah. Before that too. I saw
Yeah,
it.
plus he's British.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. I saw him in a suit and I was like, yeah, that's James Bond.
With the mustache?
For a disguise, yes.
James Bond has a mustache. Sure, why not?
Why not?
I've always
Like an older
felt-
James Bond.
I've always felt that he would be this generation's James Bond.
I think he has the chops to do it.
He was
Yeah.
supposed to be.
Yeah, then
He was looked at one point.
somebody decided to come back for a 6th time.
Well, can't blame him, because money.
90 million. you
Yeah.
know?
Okay, we're gonna jump off a bit here. Deadpool 2 director David
Oh,
Leitch
yes.
is in talks to make an Enter the Dragon remake.
This is interesting.
Absolutely
This
no.
is very interesting.
Absolutely no.
Really?
Yes. And it will not get off the ground just like The Crow because it's cursed.
Ah.
Why is Enter the Dragon cursed?
That's the last film Bruce
Yeah.
Yeah, the last film, and then after that, he tragically died.
Yeah.
But that's not why he died, because of the movie.
No, but it's a thing, right?
But then, okay, let's look at...
It's like attached to it?
yeah.
Okay.
This won't be the first time they're trying to remake Enter the Dragon. It won't be the last.
David Leitch is a good fit for me. I see it.
I mean,
see-
he was a stuntman, and then he became a director.
He directed the Civil War's action sequences.
Yeah, did he?
Because he did John Wick. He was one
He's
half
the-
of the...
Yeah,
John
he
Wick?
was part of the directing team that brought us John Wick.
So to give him an action, like a kung fu one, I think he would make it interesting.
I think he would make a great Black Dynamite adaptation.
Something to discuss in a future episode of this podcast. Let's move it along. Mad Max Fury Road has been named the greatest film of the century
What?
in Australia.
That makes sense.
What?
Yeah. I mean, Mad Max is an
It
Australian...
is, yeah, it is filmed there.
It has Australian origins. Mad Max 1, which starred
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
Who is Australian?
That's where he got his acting start.
Yeah, could be wrong, but that was his first role.
Do you think this is justified? You know,
No, I'm sure. Let them have it, right?
let them, let
yeah,
them
it
have
doesn't
it.
affect my life.
Yeah, it doesn't affect my life. And I've only watched that movie a total number of 1 time.
Once?
Yeah, I've not seen it since the cinema. Because I
Since
feel
cinema.
like a lot of the twists and the surprises would be gone.
Yeah, you sit through for the spectacular, what you see on screen.
I guess, yeah.
The effects, the action sequences, which are done like
Yeah.
really close up and
Yeah, it's pretty manic.
And mostly practical.
practical
Yeah,
effects. Yes.
practical.
George
Yes.
Miller is
Yeah.
an amazing
I'll
director.
do you one better. You've watched it once. I've watched it twice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can't beat that.
I mean, literally one better.
Yeah.
Going on that, Tom Hardy, who plays Max Rakatansky,
Yes.
Rakatansky, who is now the new Max. Yeah, okay. He says there will be more Mad Max movies.
They should make
At
those.
least 2 more.
Nice, a trilogy.
Yeah, make it a trilogy because we had Mad Max 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Did we have 4?
No, we pretend 3 never happened.
Right.
Thunderdome.
The Tina Turner one.
Yeah.
Oof.
Oof.
But then, I would have thought that a sequel following the previous one, what is it called again?
Fury
Next
Road.
Fury Road.
Yeah.
Should have been out by now.
I guess it's just a George Miller thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Like, he does Happy Feet 1. Boom. 10 years later, Happy Feet 2.
Yep.
It's just that. He does Justice League. The cast is in Australia. They're 3 weeks away. Production gets shut down. Like,
Yeah.
I just think it's him. I'm so sorry, but I don't know what to say.
But then,
Can't do it today. I've got something else.
Yeah.
and I wouldn't want another director to take over. Just yet.
Nah. The guy
Not
did.
yet.
Oh, that was good.
He knows what he's
Fury
doing.
Road.
He knows what to put in a post-apocalyptic movie like Mad Max. That's his thing.
Really
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
All right, who is excited for the Pikachu movie?
Not
I still don't believe it's happening.
Okay, well, it is happening. Ryan Reynolds, of course, is going to be voicing Detective Pikachu. Okay, now previously this movie was under Universal, but it's now moved to Warner Brothers.
I heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the thumbnail. I still don't believe it's happening.
Del, would you watch this?
I'm not sure yet until I see a first trailer and see what it's like. But then it's Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
So
I would like to see like a director's cut where he voices Detective Pikachu as Deadpool.
I wouldn't be surprised if somehow he makes it happen.
Yeah, maybe it's in the film, but it won't be R-rated.
it'll be the first
yeah.
teaser trailer.
I still don't think it's happening.
Really?
Yeah, they could literally have a poster and be like, fan art.
You're getting more and more skeptical.
Wow, the
days.
tables have turned
Yeah, it
this
really
way.
has. It really has.
It's apparently set for release on May 10th, 2019. That's next year. We've
Not
got less
happening.
than a year now.
It's-
We should
it's
be seeing a
happening.
trailer
It's
towards the end of the
happening.
year.
We're not gonna see
It's happening.
I feel a bet coming along.
The trailer comes out and he's like, fan made.
Fan made. This is not true. Either of you horror fans?
Yes, absolutely.
You're big horror
Depends.
fans?
Yeah.
I am
Depends.
definitely not a horror fan. I don't like the idea of sitting in a dark theater watching a horror movie.
Oh, you try watching that Hereditary.
Which you got to caught
I did,
in KL. All right, well,
yeah.
maybe talk a little bit about that later in the show.
Yeah.
Sony just dropped a Slender Man trailer.
Oh, okay.
Horrible.
It's
The full trailer now?
full
Yeah.
trailer. I saw it and it's creepy. It made my skin
Really?
crawl, but it's not.
It's gotten it's flashes, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
just
like,
flashes.
oh, here's a scary sequence, but
And look, hands behind.
Yeah.
But it's not scary.
no, I'm
at
not feeling
all.
it. I'm excited for Halloween though. The final chapter. I think.
Yeah, because Jamie Lee Curtis is back. And
Yes.
apparently it took them 8 years to write it.
Yeah, because
I
they
was
have to
reading
undo the last 4 or 5 movies.
Yeah, they had to undo the last 4 or 5 movies, and it took 8 years to write and 80 drafts.
Makes sense.
Apparently, there were 80 drafts of the new Halloween movie. Well, we're sort of going on a rant here about horror movies. Well, that's not really horror. That's more of a slasher film.
Slasher thriller, yeah.
Slasher thriller. But anyway, I guess I would watch it. Guess
What,
I would watch
Slender
Slender
Man?
Yeah.
Nah, I'm good.
You're good?
I'm saving up for The Nun.
This is a game thing, right? Apparently, it's like folklore. And
It's
then
an internet game thing.
yeah, and then it became a game.
Yeah.
And it was like a viral thing where all the young people were playing it. And then now it's a movie.
Yeah.
You just summarized Hollywood.
Okay. Speaking of reboots, we talked about a couple of things that are being rebooted. Here's something that I did not know was happening. It's a reboot of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah, with what?
Yeah, Kristen Stewart.
Elizabeth
yeah.
Banks.
She's gonna be writing, directing,
directing,
and
yeah.
playing Bosley, like their boss.
Makes sense.
Kristen Stewart has just joined the cast. It also stars Naomi Scott and Ella Balinska, who I have no idea who they are.
I know the two, yeah.
You know the two?
You do?
I know
Naomi Scott?
Kristen Stewart. I know
Oh,
them.
right.
Oh.
Those two, yeah.
Yeah.
The third one is a new actress. She's British as well.
Okay.
And this actually came out like a year ago when they announced Elizabeth Banks would direct Charlie's Angels reboot. So we don't know what it's gonna be called yet. But then I guess they're going to they are really focusing on diversifying the cast, because now you have one Naomi Scott is what of
British
Arabic.
No, British South Asian mix.
Yeah, and then you have another one who is black, the third one,
Yeah.
that is, and then you have Kristen Stewart. They could have easily just have a very diversified cast instead of having Kristen Stewart
Yeah.
leading, because nobody's gonna watch this movie for Kristen Stewart.
Well, there are the fans. I mean, her fans. They'd watch it.
I don't know if she
Twilight
still
is 10
has
years
fans.
old now. I'm just saying.
Who might
Twilight.
have spilled over from Twilight. But
Yeah.
then they're not happy with her as well because,
Yeah.
she was having an affair with the director. Do you know about this? Kristen Stewart
Wait, was that
was
not
with
Snow White though?
was with Edwin Cullen.
Robert Pattinson.
Oh, sorry, yeah, Robert Pattinson. I'm getting confused now. And some leaked shots came out of her and the director of what's that movie? Was it
Snow White.
Snow White, right? And then the fans were like, "Oh no, how could Bella do this?" I'm like, "Well, you guys need to check yourself. That's you have to differentiate
Yeah.
what's happening."
So yeah, I don't think she has fans anymore, like followers of hers to go to her every movie. So that's why I'm saying they could have easily just get like whole non-white actors for the Charlie's
And I
Angels
think
cast.
she's been staying away from the spotlight as well.
Yeah,
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which has been doing her good, I think.
Yeah. All right, so that's the news this week on the Wayang Crew Podcast. If you want to get in touch with us here on the show, check out our contact links down below. Now we're going to be talking about the movie that we're reviewing this week, which is Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th movie in the franchise. I got to check this out on Thursday. Del watched
Just
it,
now.
just watched it.
3
so,
hours ago.
like, it's the freshest on your mind right now.
Yep,
I
no
watched
time
it
to
Thursday
process.
morning.
Yeah, okay. So, Del, give us like a brief summary of Mission Impossible Fallout.
Oh, let's see. So there's these 3 plutonium
Cores.
cores that's like worse than atomic bombs, and they are on the loose, and Ethan Hunt and his gang are tasked to retrieve them.
Ethan Hunt and the Impossible Mission.
IMF.
Okay. That's accurate.
Say it right. Okay.
And then so the beginning, first 10-15 minutes of it, we see that the Ethan Hunt, in order to save his friend, lost the 3 bombs.
Yeah.
And then that's when they are off to on a sequence of adventures to retrieve them back.
Yeah.
And got into trouble with the CIA, and then run into MI6 agent who is played by Rebecca Ferguson again, and then realizing that there is an enemy within them. We're not going into spoilers, right? I'm just trying
Not yet,
hard
yeah,
not
not
to.
yet, yeah,
Not
so-
yet. We'll go
yeah.
into it later.
Yeah, and then a lot of Tom Cruise running ensues.
All right, so that's basically the trailer. Pretty much, yeah.
Right.
All right, if you want to get a better idea of what he just mentioned, just watch the trailer. Let's try to do a non-spoiler very quickly, and then we jump into the spoilers. I thought this movie is an amazing sequel to the last movie, especially. There's so much that's connected to Mission Impossible 4 and 5 in this movie. And yeah, I mean, this is a weird franchise because traditionally franchises lose their steam after 2 or 3. And then it gets kind of boring, and then you need to sort of inject. The only franchise I can think about that is kind of like this, where its surge in popularity is the Fast and Furious franchise.
Right.
Had to say it.
That's such a disappointing comparison, though. I
No,
mean, it is true. It's true.
It's true.
But they're so different in terms of caliber and
That's right.
quality, you know?
Yeah. Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the 6th movie, is in my mind maybe like the best or the second best movie in the whole franchise.
Sure.
I'm compelled to agree actually because obviously I think we all can agree Mission Impossible 2 is the most disappointing one.
Well, depends who you ask.
Who's
and then
saying differently?
Part 3 was really, really good,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
think it's probably one of my top.
Part 3 is like the reboot.
J.J. Abrams. Yeah, no, Kev, I gotta agree. It's probably second best.
Yeah, probably second
Yeah.
best in the franchise.
Easily. And it's because it's so, well, spoiler territory later.
Yeah. There are some twists in these movies, albeit a bit obvious, you know, because we get to see very clearly what the twist is because of some, I wouldn't say sleight of hand, it was very obvious about who the villain in this movie is. We do see Solomon Lane, who is back from the last movie. He's like the leader of the syndicate in Mission Impossible 5. He apparently has been around the world in the last 5 years. Governments have been exchanging him and interrogating him non-stop for the last 2 years. And he becomes like the central pivoting point of this movie because of what the IMF needs to do, which is to retrieve back the 3 nuclear cores before, you know, they blow up. All right.
Right, yeah.
I think it's a good movie. You have to check it out. And it's a good 2.5 hours, but I did not feel
No, it didn't feel that
that
way.
it was anything close to 2.5 hours. I was sitting in the cinema. I was like, yeah, I could do 20 more minutes. You know, show me more.
I actually thought it was gonna end when they were in the where was that, the sewers or dungeon looking place. I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna be the big finale, and then it didn't stop, and I'm like, oh okay,
There's
we're
more.
not done yet. Yeah, but then
Which part?
the one with
Oh, wait. So do we say spoiler now?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
alright.
later lah.
Yeah, okay.
But then okay, the stunts. Tom Cruise's stunts. The first big one was jumping off the plane, parachuting. They got a name for that. I just read it up in an article.
Halo jump.
A halo jump.
Yeah.
Yes.
High altitude, low opening.
Yeah. That's the one. And Cavill was saying that he regretted it so much that he couldn't do it in person as well because Tom Cruise did it, and you can see his face.
His face, yeah.
It was done in one shot, I think.
I think it was
Because
like
there was no cut. You don't see any cut, and it was just focusing on him after he jumped off the plane. The camera went down with him, and then he went and there were some aerial maneuvers that just
which you had to
say
do.
Yeah, let's just put it as that. And then cutting to parachuting and then falling on the building.
Fun fact, that was the last scene that they filmed for the movie
right.
because of him jumping out of a plane.
Right.
Like, as if the other stunts that he did were not risky enough.
Because this one has the most potential to kill you.
I feel like Mission Impossible is slowly becoming Tom Cruise's portfolio.
Yeah, like...
Yeah.
Like, hire me. This is what I've done recently,
If you want stunts...
The stunts are crazier and crazier with every movie.
He gets more daring with each installment of the movie.
I love this guy.
I don't know if the shot of him falling off the helicopter and then clinging onto the netting at the bottom, was that...
Yeah, that was him.
Was that? No, that was him, yes. But then was that really how they did it?
Apparently there was a cable which was removed in post-production.
Right.
But him sort of letting go and falling, that was...
And then catching the bottom?
That was real. If he had slipped off the cargo at the bottom, he would have been caught by the line. He was saying on Jimmy Fallon, I think, he was doing a promo tour, and he said that it was so against his instinct to let go and fall. He was like, he couldn't do it at first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's so counterintuitive.
This guy, man. Every time I read or hear what he does, it just blows my mind.
He literally does, because it's what he does on screen is amazing, and he's one of the last, if not the last actor who really pushes himself and puts himself out there. Yeah, so I guess we can move on to spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Right. Spoiler alert. From this point on, this is going to be a spoiler review of Mission Impossible Fallout. This movie is amazing.
It's so good. You're
so
right.
good.
And it's such a personal movie as well for Ethan Hunt's story, because I thought it would be so caught up in the whole like scenarios, the stakes, that they wouldn't be able to tell a personal story. But it was very smart of them to bring back Julia into the story.
Yes. Julia's back, his wife from Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
Who, as it's told in the franchise, he had to separate from to keep her safe because of the events of Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah, and I honestly think you can still tell he has a thing for her.
He will always have a thing for her, because
And-
he still pops up and he still sort of gives a signal like, I'm still watching you kind of thing.
And Luther telling Ilsa, played by Rebecca Ferguson, who's also very gorgeous.
Yeah.
And telling her that Ethan only cared about two women.
And like, I'm telling you about the first one.
Yeah.
And then he insinuates you're the second
Yeah,
one.
it's such a personal
It
story.
all comes full circle.
And there's so many references to the franchise. I think Christopher McQuarrie did a good job at tying the franchise together.
Yeah.
It's I can't believe I'm saying that a Tom Cruise movie is one of the best movies of the year.
Yes.
Yep.
It is a big contender for the best movie of 2018. We're going to have to address this because this was a big issue earlier this year and late last year. Henry Cavill's mustache.
Oh yeah, you know this was coming.
Yeah. Okay, so Mustache Gate, which is a big part of Justice League, and one of the reasons why a lot of backlash was given towards Justice League is because of the way Henry Cavill's non-mustache looked. It was
the
removed.
CGI removal was pretty jarring.
Yes, it was bad. And we finally get to see the result of why he had to keep the mustache on for this movie, because he was shooting Mission Impossible Fallout. I don't think it was justified for him to keep it.
I guess his character didn't need the mustache.
Wait,
but-
you're talking about this one?
yeah.
Huh. Okay.
But
Apparently,
I think
yeah.
Dell brought it up just now off air that otherwise he looks like Superman.
That's true.
Because it has Superman is so tied to him, the actor, already. So to go into this one, especially for the role that he's playing as the villain, I think that mustache, they needed something to differentiate him from his other roles, especially Superman, which just came out.
Yeah.
And nothing the Justice League movie can do will be able to save how terrible that movie was.
That's true, yeah.
So let
Savagery.
Cavill have this mustache. I mean, Macquarie wanted this mustache.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
it's a much better look for him here. I believe this is his best role to date, even with Man of Steel. So it's justifiable to me.
Okay. It seems that he was not as buff in this movie.
He was. I noticed in the bathroom scene.
Yeah.
When he was about to have that fist fight with
okay.
who was supposed to be Mr. Lark.
He took off his jacket.
Yeah, but it's just he wore really loose clothing.
He wore loose clothing, right? So it's not the fitting Superman suit, obviously.
No, but then Superman's suit had those paddings. to accentuate.
No.
Not him.
The Superman suit did not, and Zack Snyder has been very adamant, did not have any padding. It had contours and texture,
Right.
but no padding. That was all Cavill.
Batman's suit had padding.
Batman, possibly. Shazam, possibly.
Shazam, definitely, apparently.
But
But have you
not-
seen his body lately at the Comic-Con?
Who?
Levi.
Zachary
He
Levi?
is.
He's
yeah,
ripped?
he is
Wow.
ripped.
He is, yeah.
He is ripped.
Okay, anyway, back to Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things in this movie that we would like to highlight, but this is a spoiler section of the review. But if we start talking about these sections, it kind of takes away from the whole experience of watching it for yourself.
Right.
I mean, there are a couple of stunts to highlight. One being the halo jump, one being the whole motorbike chase scene.
Oh, so good, the chase scene.
Yeah, and
My
it's
goodness.
amazing. And then we also have a scene where Tom Cruise himself is flying a helicopter chasing Henry
Yeah,
Cavill.
that was...
Oh.
Which apparently he trained for a year and a half because he already is a helicopter pilot, but he trained for an extra year and a half for him to do stunts and control the helicopter in that way.
Right.
And I'm like, this
Commitment, man.
guy, I know he owns the franchise and he wants for it to be good and to do well, but this is a whole nother level.
I think it is somebody pointed something out. They said that Tom Cruise gets more thrills doing the action sequences than he does making movies. You know, because he's had a stellar filmography
Yep.
for the last 30 something years. And I think he's at a point where he goes, if I can't challenge myself physically, it was not fun for me. It could be it, you know, it really could be it. He could be just a real thrill seeker.
Midlife crisis, you think?
I don't think so.
I think
because
he's past midlife crisis.
I honestly think so. I don't think it's a midlife crisis
Well,
thing.
no, he's gonna live past
For like
100,
120
so,
at least.
Yeah, it is still midlife for him.
Yeah, so I think he just gets more fun out of the thrills than he does the films themselves. Possibly.
And the best part about the whole thing is that he gets paid to play.
Yeah.
He gets
Right.
paid to do what he loves. So
Yeah.
and I think this I don't know, is it because we know Ethan Hunt so well already after so many movies that writers
Do
for
we?
him
Do we?
okay. But then his one-liners, I really love them. Like in the beginning he said I'm here to do business. Tell the voice to flip a coin. He said it in such a straight face. I love it so much.
Yeah.
But
He's a natural in this role.
Well, he is Ethan Hunt. You know,
Yeah.
He is
right
Ethan
now
Hunt.
in both like on screen and probably off. I guess like he really is.
I
Ethan Hunt.
watched some interviews before this film came out, and he still is so modest and humble on every talk show he's on.
Yeah.
Because the talk show hosts are basically praising the fact that he's risking his life.
It's like, oh my god, it's so amazing. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh no, it was,
Yeah, and like when they bring up the fact that he broke his ankle shooting a sequence and he continues shooting that sequence, he goes like, oh no, you gotta do it. Now I'm like, you're Tom Cruise, you don't gotta do it, you know?
do anything.
You don't, Tom. But so refreshing. This movie is so good. I love
So
it.
my only negative about it is that kiss between him and what's her name?
What kiss?
oh
That kiss.
the British CIA informant.
Yeah.
Ilsa?
No. The other
No,
one.
Elsa, the bad guy.
Not the bad guy.
Who?
She's like
the White Widow.
The White
yeah, White
Widow,
Widow.
yes.
Yeah, on the banks of the river.
Yes.
Well, at first she was a bad
So-
guy, and then it was uncovered later on that she was informant for
CIA.
the CIA. Yeah.
So in this movie, there are 3 female actresses, and
Yeah.
they're all falling after him.
Yes.
I'm thinking we don't need it to be that obvious because even at the end of the movie, you see the two, like Ferguson and also Monahan.
Yeah.
It's like passing of the torch.
Yeah, it kinda is.
It's kind of icky to me.
Because Moynihan's character speaks to Tom Cruise's character, Ethan Hunt. And then they have a, very heartfelt moment. And
Yeah.
then she goes, okay. She steps back and then...
She
and
steps
Somebody
back
whispers
and-
something into someone's ear.
Yeah, that's
It
between...
was Ferguson who whispered to Monahan's ear.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, let me take care of him from now on.
like,
It's not necessary.
It's like, it's as if she went, he's mine now.
No,
Step off.
I think what she said was, given the tone of this film, she said, Hell Hydra.
Because I would have preferred Monahan does not know anything about Ethan Hunt and Ferguson's character. So just let it go like that. She just stepped away and
I don't know.
stepped out. his way.
I don't know. I'm on the Kool-Aid, guys. I know why they're fawning over him. I get it.
I know why as well, but I just think,
It was unnecessary.
It was
It's
so on the
representation,
nose.
Del. It's representation.
Nah, Ethan Hunt doesn't have to be James Bond.
He's better than James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely in my eyes. But
Yeah.
Something to note as well in this movie. I mean, we've become accustomed over like the last 5 movies, the Mission Impossible movies, that there's some tech that's like this is new and look, this is so awesome. You know, it's kind of like a James Bond Q kind of. We don't really see like new tech.
No,
in
we
this.
don't.
Yeah.
Even in the beginning when he receives the mission package, it's like a book and he opens it and it's tape.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, is this like a step back? I mean, we had in Mission Impossible 2, his whole briefing came in
sunglasses.
like Oakley's.
Yeah. And then part 3 was, I'm trying to remember what was the tech in part 3.
Oh, I can't remember.
Number 4 was the gloves that he used to climb the birch, right?
Is it? I can't remember.
What?
Yeah, the cool tech of the film.
Oh, the cool tag. I thought the message.
Yeah.
The cool tech of the film
Right.
was the gloves. Number 5 must have been the piece of paper that was a computer
I think so.
for
Yeah.
Simon
Right.
Pegg's character.
I really like how they keep bringing back the mask. From I think it started with
3.
it was in 1.
Yeah, but
then we really like get the gist of Mission Impossible is synonymous with
The mask,
those
yeah.
rubber masks.
because like in the
Yeah.
TV series back in like the 60s,
Yeah.
that was like a staple. Like
Yeah.
every episode had the mask thing.
That was a twist. Was the baseline? It's like, oh, it's like Scooby Doo. But I love
They
that.
made fun of it in part 5. Like they wanted to do it, but it couldn't be done or something.
Yeah, and they also referenced it in this one. They went like, IMF is a bunch of dudes in Halloween
Yeah.
masks.
We have to talk about this. I'm not sure whether this happened in your viewing, but there was a cutscene
Yes.
in the beginning of the movie, like up
Two
top.
scenes.
2 scenes.
No.
We're not actually sure why it was cut, but I think it has something to do with the plot, and it plays a big important role while they're interrogating someone.
Yeah.
Who apparently is the physicist that helped to make the nuclear bombs.
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably get to see that once the movie is released on Blu-ray or on
Auto
demand.
buy. It's an auto buy.
It's an auto buy. Big question for Del: are you gonna buy the Blu-ray?
I think so.
Yeah.
Do you have the others on Blu-ray?
The others, no.
I am definitely going to buy Mission Impossible 6 on Blu-ray, and I have spent the last couple of days trawling eBay to find like the Blu-ray 4Ks for 3, 4, and 5.
That's all the ones you need.
Yeah, well, 1 and 2 is a bit. I mean, 1 is okay.
It's
2
still the classic.
2 is come on, cannot.
But 2 introduced us to Ethan Hunt scaling mountains,
Which was used in this movie.
Yeah.
And with the whole soka soka na na song.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
Oh, 2 was weird.
That one.
All right, so that's Mission Impossible. Very quickly, Del, your rating?
I'll give this 9 red wires out of 10.
Wow, this is your highest rating.
Okay, I'll drop it down to 8.9.
No, I don't mean that.
8.9 because of that stupid kiss.
Oh, okay. Khai.
I would give this 9 seconds to self-destruct out of 10.
Nice. I would give Mission Impossible 6 9 mask briefcases.
Nice.
Because
Wow, all our ratings are
all
synchronized.
9, so for the first time ever, we're
Yeah.
all on the same page.
Guess who did this? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Guys, Tom Cruise brought us together.
Yeah, we're fawning over him just as the women of the film. So, yeah, it makes sense.
All right. So that's the Wayang Crew
Have a little
review.
bit of subtlety.
Like, shh. That's the Wayang Crew review this week of Mission Impossible Fallout, which is the 6th movie in the Mission Impossible franchise, of course, starring Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt. Do check it out in local cinemas if you have not seen it. And if you are even luckier, do check it out in IMAX. Oh. Yeah, because those stunt scenes are going to look spectacular on like a huge screen. All right, now it's time for our next bit of the show, which is...
Oi, apa lihat-lihat? Apa lihat-lihat? Hoi, 看什么看? Apa lihat-lihat?
Apa lihat-lihat?
你看什么看？
Apa lihat-lihat? See what see? 笑了.
Yep, that's right. It's Apa Liat Liat, which is what else we have been watching this week besides Mission Impossible Fallout. Del, let's start off with you. See what?
I
Or what you
was... Sissy what? I
Sissy
was
what?
watching Edge of Tomorrow again yesterday on the
Oh,
plane.
so good.
It was even better the second
It's a
time.
Macquarie Cruise film, too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's where their love affair started.
Whoa.
That's it.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really well done and did not get enough recognition.
It did not.
When it came
It
out.
was like buried under some other thing. I think it was a Marvel movie that sort of shadowed it.
Right.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was so good.
Have you checked it out in 3D?
What?
Yeah. Edge of Tomorrow?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's even better in 3D.
Okay then.
One day. Here. Anyway.
Yeah. And also, of course, like I said on top, Hereditary. It was really weird, but also very scary. It's what's the lady's name? The actress? I forgot her name. She
No idea.
acted so well So well. I think she's gonna be nominated for an Oscar, as well as the younger brother of the wolves. The wolf.
The young brother of the wolf.
The wolf brother. His last name is
Okay.
Wolf.
Okay.
He was in. My mind's gone. Never mind.
That kid from Jumanji is in it as
Yes,
well.
the kid from Jumanji.
Yeah, okay, there you
that
go.
kid. That
kid.
wolf.
The one who
brother.
becomes the Rock.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes.
Right, okay. him.
Yes.
Ah.
So, really, really great acting all around in this movie. It's just the ending is so weird that I don't know what to feel about it, but it's really good movie, and the first 2/3 of it was spectacular. I thought.
What about the last third?
The last that's just so weird. I just don't know what to feel about it. It's almost like Mother, where the last half just derail you.
Yeah.
But this
I
one
have
is
not seen Mother.
okay. That is an experience you have to
Have once. at
yeah,
least.
you once in your life.
Okay, let's move on to Khai. Apa Liat?
So I've spent the last week kind of just going through my box sets. So I finished Mission Impossible 1 to 5 on Blu-ray, and I am now halfway through the Christopher Nolan filmography.
Nice. So you're on The Dark Knight.
I am at, yes, you're correct. I'm at The Dark Knight. Next up would be Inception, followed by Rises, Interstellar, and Dunkirk.
Very good. Very, very good. I'll be honest, I haven't actually watched Dunkirk.
Oh, it's amazing.
I have it, but I have not watched it.
It's amazing. I think you'll like it.
I haven't had the time, but I should get to it, and maybe I'll talk about that on next episode's Apa Liat. This week, I'll be totally honest. I have not watched anything.
Aww.
I've not sat in front of the TV or watched any other movie in the cinema. I have been rewatching some movies because I have a new system in this room.
Ooh, I noticed.
Yeah, I checked out Blade Runner 2049, and that movie has to be heard on a proper system for you to fully enjoy it.
Interesting.
Yes. So that's about it. That's all I've been kind of watching. And I checked out a little bit of Kong Skull Island, which is still not a good movie, but looks good.
We'll agree to disagree.
Yeah. All right, so that's this week's episode of the Wayang Crew Podcast. We'll see you next week. What are we talking about next week, guys?
Next week would be Mamma Mia. I'm kidding. I don't know what's next week.
Okay, we'll see what happens next
We'll
week.
figure it out.
Either we do a review of a movie.
That's a line from Mission Impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
3 times it's
We'll
been.
figure it
That's
out.
it. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Nice. All right, so yeah, we'll see you on the next episode. For me, Kev, this is signing off for the Wayang Crew. Bye.